Last few days of the trapping season, I'm just pulling out the last little bit of my traps. I've been doing it now for 3 days, so it's good. 3 days to pull everything down. I just got a few that are set close around camp here, so they're coming down. It's kind of nice here to end my season off. Get all these traps out and I won't have to worry about them till next year. I'll take all my link snares back with me. I'll re-dye them all again next fall. This is, it's a good feeling to end the season off. I've been doing this now for 3.5 months every day. Every day I worry about my traps and worry about snares and rebaiting. So after today, I won't have to worry about traps now till next winter, of course. So this is good. I'll get all my traps down and tidy up a bit. Then I can relax for a few days and actually have a day off for the first time in 3 months. This is it. This is the last trap. They say when you put these Connie bears, traps away for the season, you don't put these locks on them. I guess the springs lose their spring. This is where I made my mistake trapping marten this winter. I tried something a little bit different here. I drilled holes in my box thinking it would be easier to wire them on a tree instead of putting them on the pole. I thought this would be quicker and easier, and I thought the marten would still find the bait. But this box should have been right here. Instead of put wiring on the side and wired it on a tree, I should have put my holes and wired it just like that. And the marten get a direct line of sight. I didn't know that. I know now for next winter though, every year you learn a little more, huh? Some bait for the little critters. Feed the weasels, what's left of them. That's it. What I'm up to today, I'm just gonna cut some wood. I don't have a whole lot at the cabin. I got to start stockpiling some wood here because it's going to be melting soon. So I cut a whole bunch now and haul it with the skidoo before the snow melts and the ground's all muddy and spring's on its way. So I'll cut the sleigh load for my cabin, I'm thinking. And I will I'll drop a few more and I'll drop some dead ones. And they'll get bucked up and stacked as well, and those will season. They'll be for next winter. I'll let them dry all summer. There's one real good one here I was eyeing up. This one here. My wood went real quick this winter. It was 40 below for a month. So I thought I had enough wood to get me through the winter and I didn't. So I'll just kick some snow out of the way because I'm gonna cut it low to the ground. I don't want my good chainsaw in the snow because it could suck in snow, it could quit on me. This chainsaw's like my lifeline, without this chainsaw I'd be doing this by hand and that would be no too good. So this chainsaw is a pretty important tool here that I use on the trap line around the cabin. So I'll drop this big tree here and then I'll drop that one and then I'll buck them both up and I'll start hauling wood.
Fur Harvestors NWT wouldn't be possible without Fur Harvesters Auction, selling your fur to the world. Buffalo Airways, the home of the Ice Pilots. All internet equipment was brought to you by Cascom and Galaxy Broadband, and cruise accommodations were provided by Greenway Realty.
Okay, it's the last little bit. Head back to the cabin, load my wood. I don't know what's up with the screw here. It's just died out on me, you know. I've been having so much trouble. Spark plug's good. It could be shorting out somewhere. Maybe it's sucked in some water or something. You know, it's pretty warm out too. It could have just overheated. You know, I've been having so much damn trouble with this screw like all winter. All my Bravos have just been doing this over and over. I'm not too far from the cabin, maybe just a couple miles. Just gotta cross the area. You know, thank goodness this didn't happen way on the trap line somewhere, because I'd have to walk, you know, 20 kilometers. You know, it's not too bad today. It's a nice day. I only got to walk a couple kilometers to the cabin, so that's not too bad, you know, short little walk. Find my tow rope, if I even have one. It's probably buried under the snow anyways. Oh, what next? Okay, well, that went pretty smoothly. Have some lunch and deal with this headache later, I guess. Yeah, right on. Nice little pile of links here. All these link pelts will get ready to go to the auction house, or go to our wed, and from there they'll get shipped to the auction house. So what I got to do with all these pelts, go over them. They've all been combed numerous times already, but I'm going to comb them again. Yeah, a lot of work goes into these pelts, a lot of time and a lot of effort goes into trapping them and preparing them, and you know, you gotta look after these pelts. You know, you want to make sure they're all done properly. It's all about proper pelt handling. You know, you're gonna go out there and harvest these animals. You know, you gotta respect them. You have to do everything proper. You know, don't just go out there, harvest the animal and not put all your effort into preparing them properly and doing everything right, you know. A lot of these pelts, most of these are large. I think I only have 2 kittens out of them. That would be, here's one. There's one kitten pelt there, you know, it's a lot smaller than the other ones. This one here, when I flipped him over, he was dried pretty good and I damaged him. So it's got a little tear under the arm. And the tail, when I flipped it to the tail, I tore the tail. Once you get a little nick in them, when you're flipping them, they're dried. From case fur in to case fur out, it's real hard to keep that little hole or that little tear from tearing even more. So I'll keep that pelt. I'll try some of the tanning formula on it, and it's a good one to learn with. So we'll try and tan that one here this summer when I'm looking for something to do. Be some easier out. Now you see all these link pelts, each one of them is different. There's no 2 link pelts that are the same, huh? So you can see the spots on some of them. Some are a lot darker than others, the spots, and some have a lot more spots. Like this pelt here, this one is quite brown. You know, this was caught earlier on, probably in December. Maybe, yeah, probably middle of December that one was caught. So it kind of gives you an idea how these links are, huh? The links that are more brown, that's because they were caught earlier on in the year. They change colors, like in the summertime they're really brown, and in the wintertime they turn more like a white silvery color. Some are a lot whiter. Of course, the colder it is, the thicker their fur gets. So Like this one here, this is another brown one as well. Another probably December lynx. Still nice fur, but you want to be catching them after some cold weather. So this belly fur here on the link, this is a really prime one. Like I could really feel how the thickness on this one. The arms are actually tucked on the inside of them. Like you feel them, they're on the inside of the pelt. This is cased fur out, this pelt. They want the arms tucked in, so when it's at the auction house, people, the fur buyers, they could look at all this long, nice, long, soft belly hair on here. So you see how long that hair is on there. It's the longest hair on them. On their back, it's not as long. Still beautiful fur, but this long hair is what sells a pelt. So I'll make sure those are all combed up real nicely. So when they grade your fur, they measure each pelt when it gets shipped off. They measure them from the tip of the nose to the base of the tail, and that'll tell you the extra large, large, or a small pelt. So I'll grab my little book here, my reference book, Pelt Handling for Profit book, and a measuring tape. You know, I keep this pelt handling book close by because, you know, I don't know everything. So I just refer to this book, and this book will tell you anything about, you want to make stretchers, it tells you the dimension sizes, it tells you extra large, and it also tells you a little bit about handling fur, skinning the ears, removing cartilage or whatever.
Closed captioning for this program is brought to you by Fur Harvesters Auction, selling your fur to the world.
So from the tip of the nose to the base of the tail, they measure these furs. So a lynx pelt size, extra large is over 39, large 35 to 39, medium 31 to 35, and small is under 31. So this pelt here, you go right from the tip of the nose right to the base of the tail, not the end of the tail, just right at the base. So this pelt is 42 inches long from the tip to the base of the tail. So this is 2 inches over an extra large link pelt. So now this little guy here, this little kitten, this one's probably a medium. So we'll do the same. We'll go from the tip of the nose to the base of the tail. Okay, it's 34. So that is a medium, between 31 and 35. So that's a medium-sized link pelt. So I'll give you an idea of the different sizes and how they go about grading them. So when I take all these fur in to get sold, they'll measure every single one of them. And they keep track of that as well too. So the Genuine Mackenzie Valley Fur Program is the only program like it in the world. When we take our pelts in, we get a small portion of what that pelt is worth right once we drop off our fur. So beaver, $25, link are $80, wolverine are $200, wolves are $400. If the pelt that you bring in is not a damaged pelt, you'll get your fur advance on it. It's really important, that program, you know, because when you're out trapping for the winter and that's your only income, you know, you need fuel. Without the Genuine Mackenzie Valley Fur Program, it would be tough. It would be tough for all the trappers. Instead of driving a Bravo, I'd be walking on snowshoes. Okay, next we'll take these two wolverines off the stretcher boards. These ones here, they've been on the stretcher board now for 3 or 4 days. Once their feet are perfectly dried and then they're ready to come off. The feet are the last thing that'll dry on wolverines. And there's their claws in there with a little knuckle on it. And of course the foot is cased out, so got to be careful when you dry these feet like that. They're pretty hard to get air circulated in there. Wolverine are my favorite animal to trap, you know, because it's kind of somewhat of a challenge. And they're just such a beautiful animal, you know. If I had a choice to only trap one animal in the Northwest Territories, if I was only allowed to trap one, it would definitely be the wolverine. I love everything about them. I love the fact of how strong they are, how aggressive they are, how smart they are. These wolverines are trying to outsmart me on my trap line by stealing bait from the traps, and I'm also trying to outsmart them. I'm trying to outsmart them, outsmart me. So it could be a challenge. In each one of these claws here, I put the paper in it. I put 2 tablespoons of borax in each claw. Don't go in there. Use lots in there and work it in each toe and get it in there real good. Now these are dried they're just good hard. If you don't use borax, I think it might be pretty tough to dry them. Like, I don't think they would dry as quickly. See, that's right, filled with borax there. No knots on them. A lot of times too, you'll get them with scars because they fight amongst each other so much. A lot of times you'll get them and they'll just be missing a spot of hair, and it's actually a scar, a scab. That's already healed over, of course. But none of these have any. You know, I'm quite surprised. One year, I kid you not, I caught one and half his face was literally like ripped off. Scar face. He must have been fighting with another one, and it was underneath his chin, it was cut up, and his snout was cut across, and another one there. And when he healed it up, it left this hideous scar on him. And that wolverine that wolverine actually sold for more money than I was expecting, only because it had a scar on his face like that. Of course, it was all healed over. It was an older scar, but you know, it just shows like these animals, you know, they're pretty vicious. I think they fight a lot with wolves too. But I know damn well that they fight amongst each other. Put lots in that one. Yeah, this one dried nicely.
Fur Harvestors NWT wouldn't be possible without Fur Harvesters Auction, selling your fur to the world. Buffalo Airways, the home of the ice pilots. All internet equipment was brought to you by Cascom and Galaxy Broadband, and cruise accommodations were provided by Greenway Realty.
Hi, Andrew.
How you doing, Gary? Got some fur for you here.
Oh, right on.
Sure.
So what do you got?
Start with the wolverine and marten, maybe.
Okay. You had a pretty good winter?
It was good. It was cold. Seemed a little long this year, but December was pretty rough, huh?
Yeah, it was a cold year for sure. Okay.
You guys been getting much fur in lately?
Not a bit, but not a little lower on the marten, I think, than usual.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that from a few different people there. The wildlife officers we sell our fur to, they want to see properly handled pelts. These ones were fall beaver.
Okay.
When you bring in your pelts, you know, they look at them and they give them a quick grading. They will give you tips or tell you how to properly handle your pelts. Jerry Hordell is the man that I sell my fur to, the wildlife officer. And over the years, he's helped me with pelt preparation, showed me how to handle a lynx pelts properly, how to tack the ears forward. He's got on display, he's got fur that he's done himself, and he shows you what the fur buyers are looking for.
You got 12 link, 5 marten, 3 wolverine, and 2 beavers, eh?
It's a good feeling to have a nice big pile of fur, of course. You know, that's what I'm out there to do. That's my job, that's my income. So when you have a big pile of fur, you know, that's your money, man. That's your payday, your paycheck.
Good seeing you.
See you soon. I'm gonna buy some paint for my skinning shack, flour and sugar, head back out to the cabin, big bag of dog food for Charlie. You know, of course, every time at the end of the season or before I take my fur in, I like hanging it up and taking a picture, you know. Get a nice picture with me and my best friend Charlie, you know, with a bunch of fur.